So many of us grew up in a household where if mom and dad left the house for work or went to the grocery store, we didn't have to worry if they were ever coming back or not. Because whether in 5 minutes, whether it's in 30 minutes, an hour, or maximum of 8 to 12 hours, depending on what your work shift is, they would soon walk back into the house. Even if they traveled for work for an extended period of time, you never have to worry because they would always come back home. It is actually one of the reasons that makes losing someone a difficult situation for most people because you know that they are never going to walk through those doors ever again. For some people, on the other hand, a lot of people have walked out on them so many times that they've lost count. Fathers have left them and never came back. Mothers have dumped them with a friend or family member and never came back. Boyfriends, girlfriends, husbands, wives that have walked out on the relationship or the marriage and never came back. Whether we know it or not, whether we want to accept it or not, whether we want to believe it or not, these things leave a scar on the person who is on the receiving end of it and can sometimes have a lasting effect. Amongst many other things, it can lead to pent up anger, emotions, hurt, feelings. It can lead to severe insecurity. It can lead to severe separation anxiety. It can lead to identity crisis, amongst many other things. Welcome back to my Darling Bride podcast, powered by Refuge and Fortress Network. It is yours faithfully and sincerely, Pastor Yemi Emmanuel Ludansi, also known as PY. And I have with me some of the world's best co-hosts in the game. We've got PK and we've got Officer PF, otherwise known as Deacon Kunle Akimusi, and Officer Femi Falade.
Thank you,
Please
thank
welcome,
you,
welcome,
thank
welcome.
you, thank
What
you,
it
Yes,
do?
thank you.
sir.
What's
We are
going on,
here
How
fellas?
you
at the
doing,
gate.
brothers?
How's it
How
going? How's
you
it going?
doing? We thank
It's going,
God.
sir. It's
Yes,
a beautiful
sir.
Thank
day out
God.
there. Sunny day.
It's a
You
nice
know,
weather.
It
Yes.
is.
absolutely. We're
It
definitely gonna
is,
take part. We're
man.
gonna be part
But
of that distribution very soon.
All right.
It's a good weather actually to take a nice walk.
I
All
know,
right.
man.
Yes,
I
sir. I
know.
said. I mean, everybody got their guns out. You know, summertime now. You know, you got the guns out. You got the shorts out. You know, you got the skinny legs out.
I know,
Gonna get
right?
leg, toe down,
Skinny
nails
gang.
down.
If you're yet to subscribe, please go ahead and do so now. Also, share and comment down below. The Bible says in Proverbs chapter 18, verse 24, a man of many companions may come to ruin, but there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother. Before we dive into today's discussion, I want you to pay close attention to this clip of a lady who got into a heated argument with her husband and how he handled the situation with such grace and maturity by walking away. I want you to take a
big
listen.
argument. We had a big argument and he left. And I was like, oh no, you're not gonna leave this argument. We gonna talk this out. I followed him 2 blocks and he called my mother.
I called her mom.
He called my mom. Can you tell your daughter to go back in the house? We in the street, okay, mind you, and you bring your, but I just was like, and my mom said, he handed the phone to me, and my mom said, go home. And then all of a sudden, this big, it felt like a big pain, like my heart was breaking. And I said, but he may not come back. And he turned around and he heard it. And I just started crying. Gosh, I'm getting emotional. Jesus. And my mom said, let go, just go home. And he looked at me like it's like something clicked for him. And he said, I'm gonna come back. I just need a minute. So I said, okay, I'm gonna go back home. But I was still mad. But I'm just saying, when he said I'm gonna come back, that's when I was like, okay, that we can disagree. It's okay to disagree.
Mm.
Why am I
I
bawling?
gotta get you a tissue.
Oh,
It's okay to disagree,
but it's gonna be okay.
and it won't break us.
Mm.
You
Mm.
know, I
Mm-hmm.
can be different and not agree with him, and it
Mm-hmm.
won't end this. So that was a learning moment for me,
Mm.
and where I didn't have to change
Yeah.
myself to be in a relationship with someone.
And that video is from Not Easily Broken, not spelled Knot, Not
That is
Easily Broken. Fellas, what
that
do you
is
think is going
powerful.
on here?
That is powerful. That is powerful. Well, for me, that's a typical marriage right
Yeah, yeah.
there. That's a typical marriage, and I love the maturity that was displayed by the husband
Mm.
in acknowledging that moment.
That's a godly man right there.
Yes,
Sir, you can say it one more
That's
time.
a godly
talk,
man.
talk about it.
Mm.
Talk about it. That is beautiful. They had an argument which is norm, which is a
Typical.
norm. There's nothing wrong in couples having an argument,
Yep.
but the
You're not.
fact that and we all have different ways we handle conflict.
Yep.
But you
Mm-hmm.
know the fact that they had that moment and he had to reassure her
Mm.
even in that moment that listen, it's okay to argue, it's okay to disagree, I still got you.
Mm.
That I think that is the big part for me.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. It's okay. And I love the way they both handled the situation. Now, we're all married men here, you know. Let me ask y'all, have y'all ever gotten into a heated argument where you felt you needed to walk away before you do or say something you will regret in your marriage?
um I'm not a walk away type of guy,
Mm.
but I have excused myself once or twice before, but I'm not a walk away. I want to resolve it now.
Mm.
I'm
Okay.
that kind of person.
Okay. Okay.
So
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Well, on my own part, actually, with the argument or the misunderstanding we had was even prior, was before it was during our dating stage, our courtship.
Okay.
So something that went down, and she was reacting to it, and I just wanted to, because there's a say that two, you can't two when two people are heated up at the same time, one has to be cool. So
Mm.
my own way of handling the situation, I walked that walk, man. I walked that walk. So I
Took a
went actually
walk.
funny stuff. It took a walk. I actually went outside. I walked from the house to the mall because the mall was about 10 minutes walk. So I walked to
Mm.
the mall. Unfortunately, she also uh, gave somebody a ride to a different destination. Now the
Mm.
funny part of this is why after I cleared my mind out that I was taking a walk back, so that would make it 20 minutes to get home because I
Mm.
walked 10 minutes to go and 10 minutes coming
To
back. And
come back.
I saw a car and she saw me. She drove past me, and I was like, she can't even give me a ride. And something like where I was the one that chose. She drove past me.
Woo!
She can't even give me a ride.
She couldn't
She
even
can't.
live.
This is the lift. What's going on here?
Oh my
Like
goodness.
I'm cool now. I want to have a conversation. You can't even give me a brother. Can't give a brother
Can a
a
brother get a ride?
ride.
Oh man.
Oh, that
Okay,
was
so is it a sign? Is it a sign of weakness, or yeah, or is it like an avoidance technique, in your opinion, when a man walks away
no,
from an argument?
no. It's my opinion. Is so my doing me taking that walk. I'm revisiting the situation, trying to figure out a
Okay,
better way to handle it. So I'm
okay,
I'm thinking about all this thing in the process of walking. How
yeah,
can I communicate with this woman that she can better understand, or how can we resolve this in a very calm
hmm,
way? So I'm
yeah,
coming with different ways of trying to like resolve the situation. So when I do
uh
get to
huh,
her, I will have a full, complete process of getting things, the way it should be.
yeah, yeah. Now, what happens, like PK, when you said you were saying that, you are I want to solve it right now kind of guy,
Yeah.
and I'm not a walking away kind of guy. So, what if you have a spouse who shares? Oh, in your case, wouldn't she would share the same thing, right? But
No, no, no. She has to have shared the same thing with me. Otherwise, I would have to, at some point, meet her in the middle. So
right.
when we were dating, those are part of the things we tried to find out. You
Mm-hmm.
know,
Mm-hmm.
uh, between each other. How do you handle conflict? How do
Mm-hmm.
I handle conflict?
Mm-hmm.
What are we going to do if this happens and this happens? I know I've mentioned it once or twice before in the past that there in our dating phase,
Yeah.
there are many times I intentionally instigate a fight
Mm-hmm.
just to
Hmm.
see what our reaction is going to look
Yeah.
like.
Yeah.
So those are the moments you would find out, how would, nobody knows tomorrow,
Mhm.
but at least we're able to to plan ahead. We're able to, with the guidance of God, able to know what tomorrow holds for us. So
Yeah.
you just
Mhm.
got to be able, it's something that has to have been done
Mm-hmm.
before the marriage. It's not something
Exactly.
you're trying to figure out in marriage.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly. Because you could have a spouse who is, I want to handle this situation right now kind of person. And
Hmm.
you could have a
Mhm.
spouse who says, give me some time, let me take a walk, let me come back, let me get back to you. And if you guys don't have that understanding that this is how we handle
Mhm.
altercations, then there might be a clash because as you're trying to walk away, she's trying to talk right now. And
Mhm.
as she's talking, you're getting even more angry and you're
Absolutely.
feeling boxed in because you're not able to walk. And if you walk, she thinks you're trying to avoid it. She thinks
Hmm.
you're being weak or something like that. And if
Hmm.
she doesn't understand that, no, this is how I deal
I
with
I deal with
situations.
the situation. Yep.
I take a
Mhm.
walk, I clear my head, I cool down so I can come back to you with a logical response and not
Yes.
just give you emotional or a defensive answer.
Or
And
something
you know what I'm saying?
something I would say now and regret the next minute. You know,
Right.
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely.
there's an adage in our language that says an egg. Of words are like eggs.
Mhm.
And the
Yeah,
moment they fall on the ground, you can't pick
can't
them
pick
up.
it back up. Yeah, once
You
they
know,
break, that's it.
the moment they break, you can't
Yeah,
pick them up
yeah,
again. So
yeah,
you know you
yeah.
just, at the end of the day, what it boils down to is respecting each other's boundaries, respecting
Setting the
each
boundaries and
setting the
respect.
boundaries and respecting those boundaries, respecting the feelings.
Yeah.
At the end of it all, everyone has something to say at the end of the day.
Mhm.
Everyone
Oh
is
yeah.
entitled to their opinion at the
Yeah,
end of the day.
yeah.
But you have to remember that even in argument, we are here to stay. I
Mm.
love I love what the lady said, that the fact that he recognized that moment
Mhm.
where she made the statement that, but he may not come back.
Mhm.
She made a statement that was beautiful. She said, we can she said it made her to realize that we can disagree, but it
Mhm.
won't break us.
Mhm.
No.
Yeah,
That was powerful.
yeah, yeah.
That was powerful.
I
There
love
was a
it.
situation that happened, even though I'm not a walking away kind of person.
Yeah.
There was a situation that happened a long time ago, and you know, it was something happened. We had a conversation about it, and it doesn't seem to be going, you know, the way it should go at that moment. And I was like, you know what? I needed to do something outside, anyways. So I told her that I gotta go. I need to go get something. So I took the car and I left.
Mm.
And while I was in, so on my way back, I branched at Dunkin' Donuts to get something for myself.
Yeah.
Yes.
But there was, but then, while I was there, still thinking and ruminating on those things, first, because I've taken time out, I'm
Mhm.
kind
Yeah.
of getting resolved at it. My mind is getting settled at it. I'm not as angry as I was,
Mm,
Mhm.
leaving the house, number one.
yeah.
And the funny part of it was getting to the to Dunkin' Donut.
Yeah.
While I was getting my stuff,
Yeah.
I remembered she had a favorite drink, and I had to
Mhm,
call her
mhm,
and ask her if she wanted it at
mm,
that moment. She
mm,
was still upset at me; she didn't pick up,
mm.
but then I went ahead to get it.
You got it.
You know,
Yeah.
but the fact remains, and then when I returned back home, um she was already calm as well,
Mm,
and just giving her the drink, even though she didn't pick up my call, giving
mm.
her the drink was like you could see her emotions. It was like I gave her a Rolls Royce. No, so it was so the point remains that marriage is a forever thing, and
Yep.
unfortunately in this world that we have today,
Yeah.
people do not understand that.
Mhm,
They
mhm,
forget that part. They
mhm.
think if it doesn't work out, I'm leaving.
I'm done.
I'm done.
I'm out of here.
I'm out of here.
Deuces.
But
Catch you later.
but
Cash me outside.
yeah,
Catch me outside. How about that?
but
I see you
Oh, we
later.
we outside now. We outside.
but we need to go back to the foundation of
Yep.
what marriage is really all about,
Yeah. Yeah.
and we need to ingrain it in the minds of this generation that it is okay to argue, it is okay to have
Disagree.
disagreement. The trying to work things out is where your maturity comes from. This guy portrayed a huge maturity in
Yeah.
this scenario. It
Yeah.
seemed like it was something small, but it was
It was
huge.
major. It's major. Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Now, what do y'all think about the fact that she ran after him? What's your thought on that?
it could be either her. It could be the
Okay.
guy running after the lady. It
No, no,
could be either
I'm
her.
saying like she right in running after him, going after him, or she should have given him the space. Like, let's not even. I don't want to say if she was right or wrong. I'm just saying
No,
like,
I wouldn't say she
what's
was.
your do you like that? Like, if you were upset, you're trying to take a walk, and she just say, well, you want to be upset, you want to take a walk, no
Do you?
problem. I'm gonna put on my shoes too, and we're
You
gonna take this walk
She's
together.
a keeper. She's a keeper. She's
you
a
know,
keeper.
it is,
She
it
wasn't trying to
is,
let
it
go.
is, it is. If you look at it in a love perspective, I would
Mhm.
say it depends on their relationship.
Okay.
You know, he wants to take a walk, but she's not having it. I
Mm,
don't think is anything wrong.
mhm.
It's just you just have to know, and that's where you can I can you can use one relationship to compare to the other.
Yeah.
You can, that's what works for them.
For you, what
There
would
are
you
some
have
men,
what would
there are
you have
some
done?
men that are
Mhm.
And
actually,
oh,
there are some men or there are some women in an argument that after they get upset, they're actually waiting for the spouse to to come, you know, making the effort. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, there are
hmm,
some people that would get upset if you don't
Yeah.
make the effort.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
So I also
it,
think in my own opinion that I running after him also shows that she cares, and I
yeah,
according to her, you notice she said she was scared, that she thought it wasn't gonna come back. So,
yeah.
and she
Mm,
wasn't trying to let that happen. Like, no,
yeah.
I'm not gonna let you take that chance of walking out of this marriage or this
Mm-hmm.
relationship.
Mm-hmm.
We
Mhm.
are in this together. So
Yeah.
if you take
Yeah.
the walk, guess what?
I'm taking the
We
walk
taking a
too.
walk.
Taking a walk
We
too.
taking a walk.
The reason why I asked that question is because we went wait, what happened? Something happened recently, and what happened? 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 Okay. We went to a restaurant, and It's one of our favorite restaurants that we go to here in Fort Worth, and something happened at the restaurant, and it's the second time it's happening at that restaurant with myself and my wife. And I was upset. I was just upset because, yo, you did this before. We addressed it. You
Hmm.
said you wouldn't do it again. We're back here again, and you did the same thing. Like, come on, what's going on here?
It's the
Anyways,
restaurant.
maybe it's the restaurant. No, maybe it is because yesterday when we were gonna step out, she made a suggestion that we should go back there. I said, no, we're not going
Nope,
back to that
nope,
restaurant
not
because
today.
for whatever reason,
Oh, Mama, she hacked the restaurant.
you don't know how to act when we get there. So I was like, no, we're not going back to that restaurant.
Oh
We go to
man.
anywhere else, but not that one, right? So and it's closer to our house. So even I started making the drive there. So I was driving there, and then I turned the other way. I was like, nah, we're not going there because I want to actually have a good day today, and I don't want anything at all to mess it up. So we went to the restaurant. We had an argument and things like that, and she kind of like, and that's the thing. Like when something like happens to piss me off, I get in a very like bad mood. I don't want to talk to nobody. I'm just like, you know what? Let's just end the day. I'm done. I want to go to sleep. I just want to leave me alone. Let me go to my office. Let me go to my studio. Just
Hmm.
leave me alone. Leave me alone. So,
Hmm.
so that has been traditionally how I handle situations.
Hmm.
Now, when this situation happened, and again, like normal, I got upset. She was in the wrong. It's clear that she was in the wrong. So there's no way, oh, we were both
Hmm.
wrong and wants to come to it. No, no, no. She was in the wrong. So if any apology was coming from anybody, it should be
It's
coming
from
from
her.
her. Let me
Let's be
let's just
clear
be
about
let's
that.
just let's just be clear on that, okay? Anyway, so we get
Typical
in the car.
Nigerian.
I'm telling you, we get in the car, we're driving back home, and it's a quiet
Oh.
drive back home,
Mm.
a very quiet drive back home, and we had like other things to do. But now I'm done. Like I'm done already. I don't want to do anything else anymore. I just want to go home.
Mm.
And we're quiet in the car. The kids are in the back. They're minding their own business, but they can cut the tension with
Okay.
a knife. you know. So so we get there and we're driving, and she see me turning towards the house and not towards the next itinerary, the next place that we're supposed to go. And then she goes, "Ah, are you still upset?" I'm like, "Huh?
Yeah.
Am I still upset? What you thought happened? You thought I just swept it under the rug and we're good now? Girl, what kind of question is that?" She's like, "Are you still upset?" Okay. Yeah, and I'm like, "Listen." So she was like, "Why are you still upset?" And the crazy thing about it is the drive was about 35 minutes to
Uh,
45 minutes long.
yeah.
And in my mind, what happened was not even the issue anymore.
Mm.
What I'm upset about is the fact that I've been driving for 45 minutes.
You didn't say
Shorty, if
anything.
you wanted to resolve this matter, you should have said, hey,
Ah,
I'm sorry.
you were you were waiting.
Like, just, what I'm saying? I'm like, so when we got 45 minutes
Ah.
over to where we wanted to go, and she, well, are you still upset? I'm
So
like,
so
oh,
now
she
so
speaks.
now the moment she asks, "Are you still upset?" Like that anger just renewed.
Just renew,
I'm like,
refresh.
she speaks finally. Am I still upset? Well, let's explore this
Ah.
question for a second and really
Ah.
answer if I'm still upset. Yes, I'm still upset. But now I'm not upset about what you did. I'm upset about how you handled the situation. And
And
she
the fact
goes,
that you're asking me if I'm
you
still
feel me?
upset.
And she was like, well, because when you get angry, you don't want nobody to talk to you. You just want
Mm.
to be left alone. And that's just what I was thinking because I didn't want to bother you. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, girl, listen, you've
Mm.
known me way too long now to be talking. Listen, you're wrong. If you wanted to resolve the matter quicker, you should be like, Olowo me or
Mm.
call me.
Ale nobody.
Ale body. The sugar in my
Hallelujah.
tea, the honey in my, you know, you should be like, I beg no verse.
Eh,
Sorry, I'm
eh,
sorry.
eh,
It won't happen again.
eh,
Like, just what I'm saying. It
yeah.
doesn't even if
Students,
I don't
students,
give you the
tell your
reaction that
daddy
you're
up.
looking for right then and there, you've
Mm.
softened my heart.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? You've
Ab-
softened my heart to the
Absolutely.
point that we won't drive up to 10 minutes before we get back into our
Absolutely.
conversations and things
Absolutely.
again. But no, you had 45 whole minutes to sit there in
Mm.
silence and we're just driving.
Mm.
And now you want to ask me that wonderful question: Are
Yeah,
you still upset?
yeah,
Let's explore that for a
yeah.
second.
It would have been better you don't ask. Let's just
Yeah, yeah. Now, okay, so the one thing we have to know and understand and accept in any relationship, like PK was saying earlier, is that there will always be conflicts. There will always be disagreement. There will always be a fight. That's like, I mean, you got two people living together, one way or the other. At some point, you're gonna have some kind of conflict, no matter
absolutely.
how sweet and rosy your relationship is. In fact, I would actually be
I,
worried.
I was gonna say that. I was
I
gonna
would
say that.
I would actually be worried if you
I was
never
gonna,
argue or disagree on anything,
yeah.
because it shows me that someone is either lying about something
Mm-hmm,
about how they really feel,
mm-hmm.
or someone
Or
is
bottling,
eh,
or bottling their
or
emotion.
bottling the emotion.
Mm-hmm.
They're
Or
suppressing
faking
the emotion so
Yep.
that there can be peace in the relationship,
Mm-hmm.
and the other person, or that the other person can be happy. Which, again, in my opinion, that's not a great tactic
No,
in the
it's not.
long run. You're gonna blow up at some point.
Absolutely,
And
it's
that's why
bound
you
to
see,
ah,
happen.
people marry 15, 20 years getting a divorce because they're tired of holding it in, and they're like,
okay.
I'm
Absolutely,
not holding this thing in no more.
absolutely,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
before what I would say is, before you get deep into any relationship or into any situationship with anyone, you do yourself a great disservice if you don't find out first, like PK was saying earlier. Find out first about how your significant other handles conflict in any relationship, whether
Absolutely.
it's work relationship, friendship, their relationship with their friends, their relationship with their parents, their relationship with their associates, whatever the case may
Mm-hmm.
be. Find out how they handle conflict first,
Mm.
to give you an
Mm-hmm.
idea of how they would handle issues with you when they inevitably come up. If you have to create a situation like PK used to do,
Mm.
just to know how this person really is in handling conflict, then do that before you get deeper into any relationship or situationship with somebody,
Mm.
because they can shock you. You'll be like, whoa, I never knew you had this in you. You never asked. You never.
But now it's too late.
It was too late.
Wait a minute. Too
you
late.
know because the one thing that makes all the difference between relationship that crumbles in times of conflict and those that come out stronger is how you handle conflict as a unit.
Yes.
As a unit,
Mm-hmm.
this is how we do it. This is
Yes.
how I do it, not
Mm-hmm.
just how you do. This is
Mm-hmm.
how
Mm-hmm.
we do it.
Absolutely. Because by the time you hear from your spouse how he or she handles the our own conflict,
Mhm.
and you express, your own way of handling conflict,
Yep.
then at some point you would have come to an agreement of
Yes.
how are we
Right.
going to handle this conflict.
Blending needs
You
come.
know?
Yeah,
if
exactly.
if if your own way of working out handling the conflict is walking away, and your spouse is telling you no, that ain't gonna cut it, you
We
know
gotta handle it
we
right here,
can
right now.
handle it. If you love each other and you stayed and you married, or Benny, you gotta figure a way out of
No,
it.
I mean, there's this easy
you got
solution.
you gotta
Honestly,
find you gotta find a way to to change
there's a
your way of
solution.
handling the
The
conflict,
solution is we can
you know.
walk and talk. We
Yeah.
can walk and handle the situation at the same time.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Get in
Oh
your
man.
shoes. Let's go.
Now,
Yeah.
one of the ways we handle conflict is by providing the much needed assurance to
Yeah.
our significant others. A sense
Mm-hmm.
of knowing that if we argue and if we disagree, not if, when we argue and
Mhm.
when we disagree,
Yep.
we can count on each other
Yeah.
to still be there,
Yeah.
ready
It
and
won't break
willing
us.
to
I keep
resolve
I keep
anything.
remembering what that lady said. If we disagree, it won't break us. And
Yes,
that's
Mm-hmm.
just
exactly.
yeah.
That's powerful.
This sense of I got you
Mm-hmm.
got me,
Yep.
and there is no
Mm-hmm.
conflict so great that we cannot work through together
Yep.
as
Absolutely.
a couple.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Yeah.
I want you to note this. There is a healthy level of assurance, especially during conflict resolution, and then there's an unhealthy level of assurance, especially when it becomes something that is constantly required of one or both parties.
Hmm.
Be careful to ensure you're not leaning too far on the scale of
On
unhealthy
on
reassurance,
yep.
where
Right.
before I step out the house, I gotta assure you I'm not gonna do anything you wouldn't like.
Right.
Before I pick up a phone
Yeah.
call, I gotta assure you I'm not gonna talk
Right.
about a conversation
Right.
you don't
That's
like.
unhealthy.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? It becomes unhealthy.
Right.
Like at that point, we're dealing with trust
Right.
issues, we're
Right.
dealing
Hmm.
with
Yeah.
Right.
insecurity, we're
Yeah.
dealing
Yeah.
with
That's
so
true.
much, so we gotta be careful. And I just wanted to mention that now here very
You
quickly
gotta
before
be
we wrap
careful,
up.
and then you both have a deeper problem than that
Exactly.
argument.
Exactly.
So,
Now, 5 ways very quickly to build trust and assurance in your relationship, your marriage, whatever the case may be, is number one, to be is what I call the open book effect. The open book effect, where you're being as open, as honest as one can be
yep.
to eliminate guesswork in a healthy relationship. Nothing puts your spouse most on edge than when they have to guess your motives, guess your moves, guess your
Yeah.
actions. They are unsure of how you respond to situations. They know you, but they don't know you because you are
Mhm.
not an open book. There's a lot of
Hmm.
husbands out there
They
who are
know
very
you,
closed.
but they don't know you. Hey.
Exactly. They
Oh,
know
gee.
you, but they don't really know you because you're not an open book. You are too you're like an onion. There's so many layers to you, and we never know the side of you that we're gonna get today because we don't
Mhm.
really know you. So you can be
Right.
close to everyone else, but when it comes to your spouse, you ought to be an open book. The second
Yes.
effect is what I call the reliability effect. According to explorable.com, reliability is the degree of consistency of a measure. The degree of consistency of a measure. A
Consistency.
test will be reliable when it gives the same repeated results under the same conditions. It's reliable. A test, let me say that again. A test will be reliable or will be considered reliable when it gives the same repeated results under the same conditions.
Mm.
Meaning, when you test it out, when you put it in, when you do whatever, it's the same thing. It's a reliable source.
Yeah.
The sun comes out every
Yeah.
morning. The sun is reliable in that regard because it
Mm-hmm.
always
Mm-hmm.
comes out every
Yeah.
morning, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
When you prove time and time again to your significant other that you are not only reliable, but you are also consistent
Yeah.
in showing up and standing up for your spouse, it builds a lasting level of reassurance. So much that even if something did happen, they are not too worried because you have proven to them time and time
And you
again
got their
that you are
back.
consistent and that you are reliable.
Mm.
Yeah.
Consistency, not only in the things you say, but also in the things you do
You
and
do.
how you
Yeah.
behave. Very, very
Absolutely.
important. The third effect on how to build assurance in a relationship, what I call the promise keeper effect. I love this one because the
Mm.
promise keeper effect says that you say what you mean and you mean what you say. You do what you say. When you keep your promises and you stay committed to your promises, it builds confidence and provides security. Many of us don't know how much our words mean to people. And when you don't live up to those words, it leads to disappointment. And if it happens a lot, it breaks their confidence in you. And as an individual, it breaks their confidence. It breaks their confidence even in the relationship. And you can say that this is almost an unfair expectation because life happens and you wouldn't be able to keep your promises at all times, at least not all of your promises all the time.
Yeah.
But with the help of God and with clear communication, you can remain in your spouse's good grace, especially when your heart is in the right place and they know that your
And
heart
they
is in the
know
right
your heart
place.
is in the
You know
right
what I'm saying? The
place.
promise keeper effects, it builds assurance. And then I have the leadership effect, which I think is one of the greatest traits of a good leader is their ability to carry people along.
Yeah. Mm.
You want to build assurance, learn how to carry people along. So not only are you transparent and honest, not only are you consistent and reliable, not only do you keep your promises, but you also possess the ability to carry your spouse
People along.
along. So
That's right.
she's not in
Mm.
the dark about your movements, your plans, your thoughts, your goals, your
Mm.
ambitions, and things like that, and how you intend on achieving them, right?
Hmm.
He or she right, is in the loop about everything that has to do with you. And this is not a courtesy that you afford everyone. It's not a courtesy that you have to give everyone. You don't have to carry everybody in the world along. Some people, you carry them along to an extent, but when it comes to your spouse, she deserves to be carried along all the way,
Hmm.
all the way.
Right.
So as a leader in the house, and even if you're a woman, you are also occupying a leadership position too in the house. Part of your
That's true.
leadership too is to carry your husband along in whatever it is you got going on, and as he's carrying you along in whatever it is he got going on. When we carry each other along, we build assurance in our relationship. And then finally, I have this one, very important: the butterfly effect. The butterfly effect, as is by definition, it means something bad, because it's when I explain the butterfly effect, you will understand. Because what we have to understand is, while it may be bad, the concept holds true even in this situation. And the butterfly effect follows the chaos theory that pretty much says tiny things have greater effect on a much larger scale. Little bit of things coming together have greater effect on a much larger scale. For example, a butterfly flapping its wing in India, for example, can cause enough climate change in Ohio to cause a storm.
Hmm.
Can you imagine that?
Hmm.
And in
Yeah.
this instance, what we're saying is, little things here and there all add up to
Yeah,
create a much greater impact.
absolutely.
Mhm.
So,
Uh,
whatever your spouse's little things are, find out what they are and then do them. It may seem minute to you, but it has a much larger impact on building trust and providing the needed assurance to sustain a happy home and relationship. Look at the example that PK gave. PK said him and his wife got into an argument, and he felt like, you know what, he needed to just step out for a bit. He went ahead, went to the coffee shop, got him some coffee. They're arguing. He's still upset. She's still upset. But
hmm.
he thought about her and said, you know what? Let me get her some, like, this favorite drink that she likes. Got her the drink, called her. She didn't answer the phone, but he went ahead and got the drink regardless. When he got home, that's the tiny thing. He didn't get a
Mhm.
gold,
Mhm.
a diamond drink. He didn't
Mhm.
buy a new car. He didn't say, you know what, to make it up to you, I'm gonna buy you a new house. He didn't do any
Mm, mm,
grandiose or any big gesture or anything. He got a
mhm,
cup of coffee, $5 maybe,
mm,
and he took that coffee to the house. And what was his word? It says,
mm,
as he gave her the coffee, you would think he had just gotten her a Rolls Royce because she was
mm,
just so excited. It's the little things that count sometimes.
mm,
And so when in little ways you show your spouse that where your heart is, that you love them regardless, we can disagree, but it doesn't break us. In little ways, when you show your spouse how much you care, how much you listen, how much you're here, in little ways that you show them that you would never leave nor forsake them,
mm,
those little
mm,
gestures
mm.
build assurance. It
Yeah,
builds trust in a relationship. You
true.
know, I rest my case.
True. True. You
That's a
did a
beautiful.
great job, brother. Thank you, thank you, thank you for that quick word on building trust and assurance in relationship. Here
Mhm.
is our MDB news of the week. According to an article written by Hemi Morin, a psychotherapist and a contributor at CNBC, the number one thing mentally strong people never do.
Mm,
She writes in a article that while weekly date nights and using one another's love language might help you create a healthy relationship,
mm,
nothing will work as long as you engage in counterproductive habits. Counterproductive habits. She states in the same article that the number one thing mentally strong people never do is use their emotions as weapon. Speaking sister. Take
That's the
on that.
Yep.
Here are sample statements from people who admit to have used emotions as a weapon. Number one is I cried during a conversation to make my partner stop talking
Can you
about a
imagine?
difficult subject.
Oh my goodness.
wow.
Wow.
Okay.
Another one says, I've expressed anger during a conversation with my partner because I wanted them to change their viewpoint.
Talk about emotional weapon, emotional
No,
damage.
I
Emotional
mean,
damage.
another person says, I've tried to use guilt
Mm,
to make my partner change their behavior.
mm, mm, mm,
No, but
Guilt
another
tripping
one,
them.
yeah. Another one says, I've told my partner I can't discuss certain topics surrounding our relationship
Mm.
because the subject matter is
Mm-mm.
too upsetting. Hey,
Wow. So
Ah,
you can't,
we'll make
no
it
go
down to
area. Don't talk
no
about
go
that.
area. Okay,
Wow.
no. All right.
that's
Another one
impressive.
says, I used the silent treatment when I'm angry. Yeah, this
Yeah.
is common.
This is very common.
This is
Yep.
very common. Another one says, I've reminded my partner that I am too fragile to
Ah,
handle certain things.
Oh my
Eminko?
goodness.
ain't low.
Uh,
Oh my goodness. Wow.
Eminko?
Wow. Wow.
Oh.
Ah. So the big question now is, why do they do this? And the writer says they do it simply because they can and because it gets them what they want.
Mm,
True.
mm.
Now, how can they stop it? She suggests number one, create emotional rules for your home. I
That's
believe,
Mm.
I
interesting.
think this is absolutely true.
Wow.
And you don't have
That's
to
good.
you don't have to really like highlight things,
Yeah, yeah.
but you gotta talk it through because
Yeah.
this can be happening.
Yeah.
Number
Yeah.
two, she
Yeah.
said, respect, acknowledge, and take care of each other's feelings. I think we
Mm.
mentioned that earlier
Yep.
on, that it's all about knowing boundaries
Yeah.
and setting those boundaries and acknowledging each other's feelings. Absolutely true. Number three, it says, come up with a plan together that makes everybody feel included, seen, and
Okay.
heard.
That's
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's good.
Yep.
That's good.
good.
And
For
stop,
more
stop,
info,
stop, stop making people prisoners of your emotions.
absolutely,
Mm.
Emotions.
absolutely,
Yeah. Yeah.
absolutely.
Hmm.
For more information, go to cnbc.com and search number one thing mentally strong couples never do.
Wow. Awesome. 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 Awesome.
Wow. 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 Thank you, PK, for giving us the my darling bright news of the week. However, but in case you didn't know, New York City is launching a pilot program that will provide migrants with prepaid debit card of up to $1,000 per month. Wow, that's
Oh,
some
Let's
really?
money.
go. All right.
That's the money
Okay, New
there.
York.
Okay.
However, just to buy food and baby supply, according to
Okay.
a spokesperson for the mayor,
Okay.
participants will be allowed to shop with the card. So with that card, will be given out. You're allowed to shop with the card at body gas,
But
grocery store.
bodegas.
Yeah, bodegas.
you
Why
haven't
you got
lived
to pronounce it
you
again?
haven't lived in New York.
Absolutely not. Bodegas. Okay, there you go. So we got some New Yorkers in the building. we got grocery stores like supermarkets and convenience
Okay.
stores around your area.
Okay.
So participants will be required to sign an affidavit affirming that they will be using these cards for the intended purpose, and that doing otherwise will risk removing from the program. So
Uh-oh.
for y'all that
Yeah.
think Seattle
No,
smart,
Uh-oh.
there you go.
Uh-oh.
if
Don't
I'm
try to play New York.
if
Don't
I'm
play
going
New
to be
York, man.
giving you
You got to for your head.
$1,000,
Yep.
you better recognize.
That's a lot of money.
Monthly too.
Monthly, yeah.
That's the
That's a lot of
salary
money.
right
Yeah,
there.
that's at least 12 grand in a
All right,
year.
so
Yeah.
Out of money.
so to everybody out there, if you or anyone you know in the New York City is in need, please jump on this opportunity before the funds runs out. So they do run out. So you might want to get
Yeah,
first come
dude,
first out.
every
And
opportunity runs out. You got to
so
jump
and
on
if
it.
you want more information regarding this information, or more information regarding this $1,000 per month deal or income, so you will see more information on that www.nyc.gov/nyc dash resources. You can get more
Thank you.
information on that.
Thank you, officer. Thank you for that information. That's a good information. As you get ready to enjoy your weekend, here is our MDB quote of the week. Peace is not the absence of conflict, but the ability to handle conflict by peaceful means. I take that again. Peace is not the absence of conflict, but the ability to handle conflict by peaceful means.
I love
And
that.
that's by Ronald Reagan.
That's by Ronald Reagan.
Yes, sir.
Ronald Reagan, the president.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
Nah.
let's go. All right. Peace is not the absence of conflict, but the way you handle the conflict using peaceful means.
Yes.
Gotcha. That's powerful. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, President Reagan. All right. Oh man. So as we bring the show to a close today, I want to thank all our listeners for tapping in with us on today. I want to thank my co-host, PK and Officer, for always delivering. And we are looking forward to another one. I hope we've shared a tip or two to help solidify your kingdom union, not only with yourself, but also with others, and most importantly, with God on today. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment down below. Until next time, be the light, be the salt, and remember, all things are possible if you believe. Thank you. We'll see you. We'll love you with the love of God. See you on the next one.